Now, I wasn't really that sure at first, okay? But after the pregnancy test, the gonorrhea, almost twice, the bicycle built for 2, the baby furniture you had me buy, all of that, I wasn't sure, but this text just nails it for me. It just nails it for me. And I think you were cheating. I think you were cheating. I'm not 100%, but I think so. So this bear, the symbol of our love, chucking it off a bridge.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm healing. Oh. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Hello everyone, I'm Steve, Marc's out in the garden, and this is SmokeySteveAndMarc. Either welcome or welcome back, and happy Saturday. It's the weekend, so we know what's going on. This is like cafe au lait, it's a little late in the day. And if you're watching this in like the 9 or 10 or 11 p.m. hour, I do apologize. Things went a little slow this morning. So I hope everybody is well, I hope everybody is safe, look after yourselves, look after each other. Today we are going to be discussing our fair lady, Chantal, Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, The Daily Chantal, Chantopolis, The Beezer Show, and of course Foodie Beauty again. So last week we were live, and in light of the holiday, there was 3 religious holidays last week, so if you celebrated any of them, happy. If you celebrated none of them, happy Sunday last week, or happy Saturday now. So during the live, lives get all over the place, but I tried, and succeeded in some ways and not in others, to try to get a few topics into the chat so that we could talk about them. Chantal's drunken rage from Cuba is not over. The apology was postponed for a period of time. I feel like it would be so cheap and hollow. I don't know if it would even matter at this point. I don't know why it takes so many days to feel remorse for something like that, especially. But there was that. Her miraculous recovery from COVID, which she had, when she got back. Let's see. She had a very healthy diet when she got back, too. She was rather hungry when she returned from Cuba, which I could expect. I mean, she doesn't probably have access to all her favorite fast foods in Cuba that she would have in the U.S. So when she got back, she was more desperate, pathetic, and attention-seeking from her relationship as of last week, too. She's going to the natter box a lot for content. Not for content. I don't want to talk about it. Now let's talk about it for half an hour. As though she, they make her talk about it. She can talk about whatever she wants. She'd be the first one to tell any of us that she can talk about what she wants. She doesn't have to talk about everything. But giving people a little bit of a carrot and saying nothing afterwards, on one side it creates suspense, which as a creator I think is, something to do. But you're creating suspense with something that isn't fiction. It's your real life. So people are interested in your real life because you have no other content that isn't involved with you as the primary character. So why don't they get into my life and leave me alone? Your life is your channel. I talk about Foodie Beauty once a week. Sometimes she comes up in the chats, and I've done a double header. Probably, I want to highball this. I want to say 6 times I've done a Foodie Beauty midweek crisis live or something similar to that. At any rate. So 3 bullet points I want to come out with, and we will have Marc joining us later as well. I want to talk about pre-reaction, like the racism, okay, that was displayed, which is not only in Cuba, but in her return from Cuba, her defending Natter for saying something that was racist as well. Using racist language. If we feel like it's too far to call them racists, and I'll leave that to you. I know what I think, and I know what I'm going to say on YouTube and what I'm not. Follow my eyes. And we found that out from Chantal as well. So, especially when she had a few drinks in her, you find out that the sweet, hi guys, how you doing, you want to bees is just a mask. And when the mask falls off, it made a thud. A pretty bad one, too. So some nuances of the drunken rage I want to revisit as well. And then where are we going with this? I'm trying to read the tea leaves and see what's the next direction we're going to go based on the last few videos that we've had. So some stuff that she's been bringing up, there was a new tweet or a new message that she got that was supposed to be allegedly from Dee Dee to Chantal about being with her mans and them. I don't even know if I believe it. I think Chantal might have texted herself to create drama for a reason to be mad for whatever, and whether that's in cahoots with Dee Dee, Natter, and Chantal, this axis of evil, that they've put themselves out there as, and they're all in on it, which is one of the possible explanations that's floated. Or she's just desperate and attention hungry, and, a good crisis is always good. It lets you know who really cares. Throw yourself on the ground, have a fit, and see who will pick you up. They're the real ones who care. I'm sure Natter would text her on the way to the ER for a psych eval, which would mean he really loved her. And I'm sure he would have come if he could drive. Keeping things interesting. Alright, so first of all, I didn't take it that way, and I'm not apologizing anymore. Chantal's response to Natter's use of the word monkey in describing Monty from Stories from the Internet. That's a very loaded insult to throw. It exists, that kind of an insult toward an individual, or towards an individual who's black, especially using monkey towards black, specifically directed. There's 1,000 other words you could have used. Probably 5,000 if you include the Egyptian. And that's the one that was chosen. It wasn't jerk. It wasn't idiot. It wasn't fool. It wasn't thief. It was monkey. Okay? Now, we know Natter's an asshole. This is not news. Am I surprised that he used bigoted language? No! Not even the least. I would have guessed, given his upstanding character otherwise, that he might prejudge some people. Or if he gets hot under the collar, throw out some epithets and this and that. So, I'm not surprised from Natter, because he's been in... As far as audiences, he's an upfront piece of shit. She says he lies to her all the time, but I think he probably doesn't lie to her any more or less than he does anybody else. She just really wants his lies to be true. So she gives him money, which makes him act like he really cares, which is enough for her. But, the law is keeping them apart right now, so they can't see each other. On calling Monty a monkey, Chantal, who's had some whoppers of her own in the past with racist language, ableist language, body shaming, ageism. What else? Oh, God. He's calling back, guys. I gotta go. Hold on. Whew. It's okay. It wasn't Natter. It was actually much nicer. It was an old college friend, and we're gonna meet up sometime this summer to catch up before the wedding, which is very cool. So, again, Natter racist? No surprise. Chantal defending his racism to the extent that she did, and then calling it her own opinion. Her opinion is that she's going to support Natter. Her opinion is that she's going to back up his racism and the things that he says, and he doesn't need to apologize for it, and like he would. And she's not going to, because she's done apologizing for living her life. Everything gets conflated. You said some really rude shit when you were drunk. How about you find out what you said, you make good on it like an adult, and keep moving. It's a bruise. Some people's assholiness comes out when they drink. I gotta be honest with you, though. Really. I was an alcoholic. Substance dependence, that's the kind of language they use now. Use, abuse, whatever it is. So, I have a substance dependence, concern. And from 2005 to 2012, I was drunk more often than I was not. About a fifth of vodka a day when I get my hands on it, or when I couldn't, towards the end, I would get mouthwash, 1 liter or 2 of it a day, and drink it. Don't you think, if I was a bigot, sometime during those 6 years, something would have come out of my mouth, considering how drunk I was all the time? She lays it in tone, like people talk about, you talk with your friends about dumb levels of being intoxicated, or you see little memes on Facebook. It's like, 1 or 2 drinks, buzzed. 3 or 4 drinks, tipsy. 4 to 5 drinks, and it goes up. You're hammered at a certain number of drinks. What is the bigotry number of drinks? It's not in all of us to come out like this kind of person when we get disinhibited. This is not how everybody is secretly. And if they said what they really meant, would come out of their mouth. I think she thinks that everyone's like that. And that everyone's got a dark side and a nasty side. We all have bad choices we've made. And we have things that maybe we've done, we've never confessed to anybody else, that we want to hold on to. Stuff like that. But that's not the same as this. That's not the same. Oh, in the meantime, because she doesn't like Monty, because he doesn't like her, she goes off on a rant blaming reaction channels, of course, because they went after the language that he was using and the things that she was defending. And of course, it's a good, she's lawyering up. The reaction channels better to look out. And she delineated what she found was acceptable and unacceptable to be used in a reaction channel. Okay, she repeated terms of service. She said, if it's transformative, I have no problem with it. That's good. It is. And I'm not trying to be a dick, but it doesn't matter if you have a problem with it or not. TOS is TOS. It cuts your way when you want to strike someone stealing your stuff, but it cuts the other way too. So, and it's more than just clicking a button. You want to open up a legal proceeding just because we're butthurt? The idea that stream sniping is an issue for some of the reactors. Now, I know stream sniping isn't even the right use of words, but that's what she uses. The fact that she'll be online live and someone will go on and broadcast it at the same time, adding transformative this, that, X, Y, or Z. And she had in one of her videos, she was watching Monty, and he has it screened in about here, and the chat's over here, and there's some other stuff here, comments, and this and that, and he's talking, and he's pretty much using her content exactly as it is. He's adding commentary. Is that transformative? So far, I guess. Chantal wants to probably make it seem like it's no big deal, but when strikes go out and she's mysteriously quiet, you can kind of tell who's doing what behind the scenes. It gives you a little idea, a little something. But, sidebar cigarette break. Chantal's position on that is not that different from mine. If somebody's going to use, let's say Chantal made an hour live. I mean, it's hard you can't copy all her content. If you watched her content for that long, 1 hour of her live to review live is like 3 hours. That's more time than Chantal puts into her own day, let alone me. I'm not going to, even if I was money hungry and YouTube was the only income, I still don't think I'd go that route. I might go the ASMR route. Something a little different. I don't know. Defending him, saying that she changed her mind, or that she doesn't believe that's what he meant, or she didn't think it was racist of him to say that, because he just said it so nonchalantly. That's the fucking problem, is that it flew off his lips like it was no big deal. It was no slip. It was no accidental twitch of the tongue. It was nothing. He was very deliberate and very comfortable with the language he was using. And obviously, big man doesn't feel like it's so inappropriate. Let him run his mouth. I'm sure Top Dog was big tough man in the prison. When folks showed up to take his commissary, I wonder what he did. Wonder. So as we're going on with this, her defending herself, she's saying, well, I'm not racist, though I don't agree with what he said. He can be racist sometimes. She hedged on the stuff he said. He can be racist, but in this instance, he was not racist. Exclusively in this instance, I thought it was bigoted. And then she goes on later and drops her own nonsense, too. Trying to normalize it. Trying to make it seem like, yeah, everybody lets a little racist slip every once in a while. You get a few in everybody and they start talking about superiority and inferiority. It happens all the time. Telling people to get out of the country. All that. We all have that in us. No, we don't. No one's perfect. Get off of the cross. No one hates you for being independent or having thoughts of your own choice. It's not that big. But if it's how you feel, don't point at him. Say it's how you feel. So, let's see. At least with Natter, we know where we stand. Chantal, she's got to be drunk for us to hear what she thinks of us. So, she was going into this, apology tour, which she never did. Like I said, Nader knows, we know where we stand with him, but with her, you have to wait until she gets sloshed. And then she tried to bury it in all sorts of stuff. She's like the queen of random when an unpopular topic is starting off in the chat. And she'll be doing random, I should get a boob job. I should do this. I should go to Eurobees. I should go here. I should go there. And she's firing in every direction. And the questions stay the same. And then we hit the I'm tired part of the live, where she can't keep up, or she gets a little buzz on or fakes it so she can appear tired, so she has a reason to get off. I've seen it all the time. It's usually when the chat is jumping and excited and she's like not wanting to deal with it. Usually jumping with VIBs who are in support of her, who have serious concerns about some choice that she made. You know, she hasn't had an open chat, and oh god, I forget sometimes. These are chats just for her people. These are the people that like her enough to pay, or like her brand of entertainment enough to pay, or they like Schadenfreude. You know, something like that. So let's go back to Cuba, because I have some more thoughts, because she did a lot of the bullshit she did in Cuba. Specific, not a lot. The rant that she went on, where she humiliated herself. And further by waiting so long to address it as well. But in Cuba, she had said, as far as her apology for the stuff that went on there, with her going off at the mouth and talking about Natter, immigrants, screw you, to the VIBs, I will manipulate the hell out of you tomorrow and you will love it. And then they do. Like, she knows what's up. She's very cleanly shrunk her suckers into a small space and can extract much more money from them on these other platforms. You get more money from friends than enemies. So she'll get those $2 chats that say, you know, your life is a waste and it could be different but for you. That's $2. But somebody will send one, which she said she hopes they do. $15 or I'm not responding to anybody. She is so cheap. You can have access to her for $15. That's dynamite. So she put up a community post with the apology, saying she's not going to apologize for what she put up. She's mentioned it in a few chats. First, she doesn't remember it. I mean, I rewrote it here, but here's what it said, and here's what I'll say. No apology video, but I'm here to apologize for getting drunk and saying some of the most horrible shit in my life. I don't remember most of it and didn't mean what I can remember, but I won't let this define me as a person. It's just another drop in the bucket, Chantal. Define you as a person? That's a fire shot at everybody reading it to say, I know, I don't remember doing anything wrong, but even if I did, you're not going to throw it in my face. Well, do you know? Do you know what you're apologizing for? Like I said, I've been drunk round the clock over periods of years, and there is not a level of intoxication in all of us where we all become nasty racists and agitated. You know, she was in Cuba. There was a dance floor probably downstairs across. Every night there was probably a freaking dance party. She's always dancing around in her apartment. What did she decide to do instead? Get drunk and make an ass out of herself. And blame other people for reacting to it. Please. You would be demonetized for some of those things. You would be taken down off of some other platforms for that behavior alone, perhaps. So, not going to watch the video, not going to put herself through that, because she's so emotionally fragile at the moment. Maybe it was the 18 drinks that made you emotionally fragile at that moment. But saying that we're too fragile and that we're going through stuff, I see no stuff. I see sitting in a chair, eating Greek food, farting, talking to the roommate. I know there's more serious things that should be going on. But if you're not dealing with them, then no, you're not busy. You're not busy if you're not dealing with any of them. If you are, kudos to you for handling your life shit. But if you're calling playing tag with this asshole busy, then you're not busy. You're 12. It's not the same. So, the fact that she wouldn't go back and watch the video doesn't surprise me, because I don't know. It kind of doesn't surprise me because I know she wouldn't care anyway. She would never take responsibility, because that would give them, the haters, ammunition. What do you want? A compliment? What do you expect? What do you expect? Do you want a compliment for the way that went down? You want a pat on the head? And then taking it even further to try to conflate the idea that, well, you know, substances can make people act this way or act that way or do a certain thing. I was never drunk enough to use the N-word, ever. Now, I also wasn't brought up like that, so I know, you know, different people come from different circumstances. But I lived in Philadelphia from 2001 to 2007. Okay, very diverse city. I grew up in a small town around nobody except people like me. And guess what? When I took a few drinks, different didn't become bad. It just stayed different. I was more interested in people different than me, than try to look for the differences and why mine are superior to theirs. She's not going to say she does all that. It's instant. It's programmed. And a privileged white woman from the first world can shut the fuck up about bullying, too. I understand. It's not bullying. Make another name for it. Pull a Beezer. Make another name for it. But bullying is much more related to children than adults. This doesn't happen to 40-year-olds. It's not the same thing. A 40-year-old, she has younger viewers because she's immature. So she gets the kind of spiteful revenge that a Generation Z would do. And they play with her. But, she's a grown-up. She's not a child. Just because she pulls adolescent activities out of her ass, it doesn't mean that she's 15 or that she would get the breaks of someone who's an adolescent. I've said a number of times, and I maintain, I wouldn't judge an 11 or 12-year-old Chantal for being shady, for not telling the truth, for not coming home when she's supposed to, for telling lies to make herself sound more interesting or anything, because she's 12 and she had to cope with whatever situation she was in. You don't choose your circumstances when you're 12. She did fake a suicide attempt, so there's some foreshadowing there. But you have to take someone you're almost 40. When you're a kid, yeah, stuff happens to you. But then when we're adults, we have the responsibility to work on that. We can identify whose fault it was maybe in the past that we are like this, but blaming somebody else doesn't make us any better. It doesn't help us grow. It doesn't help us. Identifying triggers? Sure. Avoid the trigger. Avoid the trigger. Avoid it. So we're going to talk a second about addiction. Because Chantal she was intoxicated, highly intoxicated in the Cuba video. And beyond that, she was eating some shrooms. Not shrooms, forgive me. Wrong thing. Edibles. She has shrooms around, but they're for special occasions, I guess. And getting totally smacked and talking to the camera. I'm going to bring Marc in so we can chat a little bit about what she does as far as advocacy for individuals with mental health and substance use disorders, okay? We'll see what kind of advocate she is. Marc! Come hither, come hither. Y'all know Marc. And this is Algie.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, hello. Ooh, this couch ain't even.
No, it's not. No.
Ooh.
I think we need to get a new
I'm the tall
Maybe
one.
we should invest in a new couch. Oh, we're under construction.
We are
I
under
see.
construction. We got other things going on. So we just went through and discussed the racist crap that was going on Chantal's channel. And we vetted that pretty well, and none of it was much of a surprise. However, as it was coming along, she was talking about, Natter, and French Fry Girl is another reaction channel.
Yeah.
And her nickname for him is Koki.
Yes.
And it was getting
I've
used
heard that quite a few times.
And she uses it a lot, it's stupid, but it's, whatever. It gets under his skin. That's what, it's YouTube.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
funny.
It's a big freaking playground. Yeah. But she parlays that into addict shaming. Not her, because no one's calling her that. They're calling it to Natter. But you will not apparently drug shame on her platform. Now, given where she's at in her recovery, what do you think of that state of mind? That kind of...
Oh, gosh. First of all, that video where she said that and was, I think, was it in a rage? I think that was that one where
drunken
she was
rage
mad at
before
everybody.
she came back from Cuba.
I think so. I can't remember exactly where it was, but yes, I saw it. And, first of all, her saying that, she only uses a statement like that when it benefits her, okay? How many times has she denied using drugs, denied being an addict? I mean, and, this situation, they weren't even talking about her. They were talking about him. So, you will not addict shame on this platform. So, okay, so he's an addict and she's an addict now. Okay, now we all knew this, right? But, I know. Right. But anyway, but yeah, she uses it for her benefit. So now, she is saying, okay, yeah, he's an addict and you can't shame him. I guess I'm an addict and you can't shame me right now. That's not what's going on there, right? And for a person who has this entire time denied drug use, oh, I had a little slip up, all this and that. Like when she said, oh, I had a little slip up, but this was like last week, you can't have a slip up if you're not sober, okay? It doesn't happen that way.
It's like cheating on a diet that you're not on.
Exactly. It's so frustrating. And again, though, these type of things are, very classic behaviors of someone who, has a substance use disorder. Actively, this type of thing, like her rage stream. Then the next day she's all happy and laughing and giggling, and then the next one, like in last night's live, where she was talking all slow like this, clearly high. Again, these are behaviors. Have you taken a look at the house lately? I mean, come on. Again, it's not a surprise, but again, a behavior of someone who is in active addiction. Lo and behold, now pizza's announced and made an announcement that Chantal smells worse than he does. Again, we're not all that surprised about that one. Yeah. But personal hygiene, this is the worst I've seen her since I've been watching, as far as all of these behaviors go. And she's definitely still in active addiction. Hello, outhouse. I mean, she even had that video, outhouse beezing and the funeral with the fast food,
funeral, which is binge.
Which is binge. Usually. That equals binge. It's
binge.
just an excuse.
And it's never been the funeral. Be done seeing the resurrection of that funeral.
How many times?
Hallelujah.
I know, right? I know, it's very true, though, But, no, as far as the whole, addict shaming thing, she only used that statement when, it benefits her, like it did then when she was trying to defend whatever she was trying to defend.
He'll see me defending him and see that I love him.
Exactly. There is something underneath everything she does, and it all goes back to him still.
All her motives are ulterior. All of them.
Has become a person of very little quality. There, I said it. I'm sorry, but, she has. Everything that she does is boring, and she has to create drama and create this dumb shit just to, get views. And I think someone made a reaction or even just a statement, that what? Her channel is going down the toilet, and she's doing all this grade school crap to try to
drum up some,
like that text, like that all that
was
crap. I mean,
either was from her to her,
or from, as was
the stuffed animal, or from Dee Dee to her, which doesn't make it any better.
It doesn't make it any better.
It makes it weirder, but it doesn't make it better.
Yeah. But no, my personal opinion is like, oh God, I don't know why somebody would, again, want to just portray themselves like this for everybody to see.
I know.
I don't know why.
It's unbelievable.
I guess it's about the money. However, I do believe she could make the same amount of money with a legitimate channel, with a legitimate content.
That's too much of a risk. I don't know.
Doing the mukbangs, there's an audience for it. They're doing the things that she did before.
Yeah.
But no, she's chosen to live her life this way. It's unfortunate, it's sad, and it's incredibly frustrating. It really is. So I don't know. That's just my opinion on what happened this week. But as a professional, she's still active addiction. Oh, absolutely. Denying it, admitting it whenever it behooves her to. All the behaviors that go along with it. I mean, it's rather unfortunate. She needs help, and she needs help professionally, across the board, multifaceted, to get her life back on track. Let's not forget that she's going on 40. She is obese. She has a lot of health problems. And all of this crap is just adding to that. We're going to see something very bad happen to her. It's going to happen. I hope it doesn't. I really don't, because I don't wish that on anybody. But it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And another sad thing about that is half the people out there that watch her are going to be like happy when it happens. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's sad that she has come to this point.
Half of them will be happy. The other half will be surprised.
You know, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Thank you for your insight, Marc.
You're welcome.
It's very much appreciated.
Bandit
made a cameo. I hope y'all saw him.
They at least saw his tail.
He cares. Because he cares. He advocates for underserved animals. Right. All right, then. Where do we... Okay, so... Trying to put all this together, trying to put a big bow on this at the end. The next direction, I'm thinking, is that. What is the next direction? People call them arcs a lot in different discussions and different chats and stuff like that. So the new things that are popping up that have been old before, so she's recycling some old stuff. Suddenly she's talking about being on her medication again, her psych meds, which she often says she's off and on, or she'll start calling her pot use medicine, though she's not getting it prescribed or dosed through a medical marijuana program, as far as I know. She's self-assessing and then going to the shop to buy the stuff, and then by trial and error, seeing maybe what helps and what doesn't. But she says she's already thinking more clear, and she even mentioned an inpatient psychiatric facility and maybe being seen or something. This is another place to hide, and it's also another place to go and throw a smoke bomb. She's escaped a few times recently, which makes me wonder what's going on back at home while she's out. First of all, her driving to America was weird. And then Cuba, on relatively short notice, I swore she was a drug mule. I can't imagine why she would have gone that fast. And then it kind of goes, like, I just thought it would kind of, like, escalate from, I don't know. But her thinking more clearly, and her thinking that she could have used some psych help, feels like it's trying to lay the groundwork for something she's going to have to explain away later. And so for now, she's going to say, I'm working on my mental health, because the next lapse is going to be blamed on poor mental health. She started to with this one, too. She was talking about outbursts. She's not able to control her outbursts. This is cute. It also falls into the old Chantal has two reactions, impulsive and in reaction to other people. So she's not responsible for initiating anything ever, of her own free will. She either did it spontaneously or you made me do it. So she's real big on responsibility there. Can't control your outbursts? That doesn't work. It's another get out of jail free card. It's another one like, I'm acting like this? Boom! Crazy. Can't discriminate against me. You're shaming me? You're telling me I should be more healthy? Bam! You're calling me fat. You can't shame me. The shame's gonna kill her. The shame has gotten so deep. So deep that if anyone says anything to her that doesn't blow smoke at her ass, she feels like she's being threatened. She needs her hug box. Quote, she needs her hug box. I want my hug box. You know, she's put herself out there and made herself available for people to pay her to like her and not confront her. And it's a hug box. And I think she thinks again that, like, other channels have their really close-knit people that don't question their creator, and that everybody else, you know, is against. Like, I don't see it like that. I've seen other reactors and other creators who have certainly their tight group of supporters who are with them. People get all... I don't like the use of the word fans, but I'm not going to make a whole video about it either. It's not that deep. I just prefer viewers or subscribers if they're subscribers. You know, fans seems a little grand for me, but other people went for the throat. I can't believe you're calling these people fans. Well, fan in as much as I watch it, I would be a fan too, I guess. But viewers, I viewed it. So as we go forward, she's definitely not going to be seeing or talking about Natter anymore. Never mind. She blamed Dee Dee for one of her freakouts in a very recent video. Dee Dee, it's your fault that I freaked out. There was a community post that came through. A community post or a DM? That baited Chantal about what we did in the intro to the intro. Chantal, you know the man laying beside you? Yes, I know him too. Too well. Too well. This is where you're supposed to read between the lines. Get it? Got it? Okay. So this is like adolescent texting is what it is. So this is either a child doing it, someone with the mind of a child doing it, or someone who thinks they're very clever trolling doing it. So whether it was Dee Dee or Chantal, it doesn't matter. It's lame. It's lame. And I hope it doesn't set the tone for the next direction that we're going here. I don't want another cycle about these two. It gets boring. It gets very boring. And even the law stuff seems boring anymore. Because, you know, stuff takes so long to come in the mail and set a court date. It's like, you know. And then you start to second guess the whole channel. Was there ever police interaction to begin with? I don't know. Start to wonder. Glad it's not my life. I know what goes on in my life. I know when my appointments are. I know when the dates of things I have to be there. Haven't had a court date in 8 years. Nay, 10. 10 years. So, I don't know. You can get better, Chantal, but you gotta try at least a little. The stuffed animal Natter got for her. Okay, where's mine? This is Algie, for anyone who's not noticed. Algie is my bear with his Lady Gaga Joanne hat. Algie is the mascot for Mental Health First Aid, which originated in Australia. And their Algie is the acronym for the 5 parts of the training for mental health first aid. And, you know, he's a koala because it's originated in Australia, all that. Okay. So that's the little bear. She has a bear of his that she's like, that she bought herself and she wanted to make a thing out of and was going to go throw off a bridge. And people yelled at her for recycling or not. I mean, I like to break her balls too, but for my biggest concern about her throwing away an item off the bridge to symbolically whatever versus her littering. Yeah, she's littering. People litter. You shouldn't litter. There should be another way to cope. But of all the things she's done this week, am I going to lay the hammer down on littering? No, I am not. Call me too casual. I'm not going to say anything about it. But it just seems like more crap. It's more pull and sturm and drag. All in the context of trying to bring myself back. He's never claimed her. He's never said he was in a relationship with her. For 1 week. And she's still like, Toronto. Toronto's still there. Go to Toronto again. Make room for Dee Dee. Because it's a group now. It's everybody. You know, and Natter's not pulling the kind of money Chantal does. And Dee Dee's just along for the ride. You know, she had a real job. She may still. I don't know. But her personal life is her content. So saying that people have no business knowing about things in her personal life is foolish. It's a non-starter, because what else are they supposed to talk about? There's no topic for any live, really, except bees. Greek food bees. What does that tell me about what we're going to talk about today? Nothing. Just hanging out, just chit-chatting. And God love you, people watch. Go have your internet life. But if you're going to make content defending racists, gaslighting domestic abuse, and all of that other stuff, then you have to understand people are going to be pissed off about it. And you have to understand that there's people on YouTube in the world, like everywhere else, who might try to do something to stop a person who's creating a channel like that. I.e., strikes for this, strikes for that. I can say I'm not that guy. I don't. But if people do, I mean, what can you say? You can try to argue with us that we're not seeing things the way they are, but try to argue to YouTube. Try to explain it to them. You know, and see if that holds water. So going into next week, we'll hear something about mental health, I think, because she's back on the pills. So we'll see about that. She's going to put herself in the hospital over something. She used to do this a lot when she lived with BB. Like, she was only with BB for a handful of months before I started covering her channel. I mean, he was already over her by then, and she was, I think, over him at the point I started watching her channel. So I don't know what direction it'll go now. Pete's, I see you, Pete's. How you doing? Was getting over COVID and coming to terms with his sexuality, or his gender identity, at the same time. He's opened up that can of worms on his channel, and I hope he feels good about that, because it's a sensitive subject and people can be mean. So I hope he has some people who support him with that. You see why I care what happens to Pete's? Because Pete's just kind of minds his shit. Yeah, he's a little social justice warrior, and he can be a little pretentious, and I know in person he would not be as argumentative as he is behind the safety of a phone or a computer. But more or less seems to mind his own shit. And then his videos have freakouts, which are scary. It's scary when he gets angry, because... but, you know, he's still doing his own thing. But of course he has a channel now. And Natter has a channel now. So everybody's got something coming in. Except for Dee Dee. She's just along for the ride. Dee Dee is just like... here for the circus, I guess. I don't know. I question her motives, because how could you not? How could you not question everybody's motive in this whole little friggin' soiree? It's... I don't know. So we'll see you next week. I'll be here next week. I hope you're here next week. If there's anything I went through in the video that was not quite as accurate as it could be, please fact check below so we all have the best information. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe. Hit the notification bell. You can follow us on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc, or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Our email address, contact info is all listed below as well. Thank you again, and we will be going live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern for our usual Sunday open chat. No topic. Foodie Beauty usually comes up. Maybe some other folks do. But otherwise, it's wide open, so don't hesitate to stop by. Thanks for watching. Bye.